Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Fanside RaceCanada.world and of course, on our YouTube channel. We are extremely excited to talk about some NASCAR Pinty Series news. It is officially the first news for 2021. You know what? In what has been a horrible year and a bit, it is very, very, very relaxing to see a 2021 schedule for the NASCAR Pinty Series that does not consist of only 6 races. In fact, let's double it and let's go to 12 races, Graydon. We are going racing in 2021. We're not sure if everybody is going to be able to go to the track yet, but we do know racing is going to take place. Let's get your initial thoughts on the schedule.
I look at the schedule and I see some familiarity, something that feels a little more traditional. We have Jukasa as the second race of the season. That's become sort of their place, and as well they got the championship round as well. Sunset as kind of when they were on the schedule. Were early in the season. They're there. It's nice to see Flamborough back. GP3R, I have a feeling that'll be kind of at the mercy of social protocols at that time. Just given the fact that it's an entire town that they turn into a racetrack and an event. I'm very, very happy to see that Oswego Speedway on the Tuesday date, like they were going to have this year. Tickets still bought and paid for. And heading out to Quebec again, which is nice. With the ICAR Chaudière, the Chaudière doubleheader, that's pretty sweet. CTMP, they have kind of moved things around here. I see not kicking off the season, likely again due to the COVID restrictions, what things might look like in May. But they're getting a couple of races here by the look of it. And then again, as I say, Jukasa with the championship round. So a little bit of familiarity, a bit of adaptation, given what they're likely going to be up against COVID wise again still. But awesome. I like to see, I can't wait to see this happen.
And you know, I put up our good buddy Joe Chisholm Jr., of course, the one of the hosts of Race Time Radio, of course, with Joe Chisholm Sr. He posted this out. It is the schedule, but amended a little bit to state that we've got other racing series that are going to be participating the same weekend. So essentially, you've got a highlight event on Saturday and a highlight event on Sunday when you were going to Sunset and Flamborough. But we also have same day big events at Jukasa. The APC Late Model Series will be at Jukasa the same day as the NASCAR Pinty Series, both times. Flamborough is going to be, of course, the Saturday event, and then Sunday. Chances are you're going to see the Oscar Racing Series as well. I have to go back and check their schedule, but I believe Superstocks are going to be there for Sunset and Flamborough. I'm not sure if they're there for Jukasa as well. The modifieds and the hot rods, all part of it. This is extremely exciting stuff for NASCAR Pinty Series fans, because you're getting way more than just one race. Obviously, any fans right now of racing want to be able to go to the track. That is obviously a must. One thing that you're going to see that is absent from here is the Western Swing and the race in Toronto. Likely, Toronto is not happening. As much as we want the Toronto GP to happen, just based off of it being in early July with the current situation with COVID, in a city like that, Toronto is less likely to lift the restrictions, being a close-knit neighborhood the way it is. Unlike a lot of these places where you're going to see more spread out people at Flamborough, at Oswego, at Sunset. It's outside the GTA. Now, where you get a lot of attendance is at CTMP and GP3R. Likely, you're not going to see those in May because there's not going to be the restrictions lifted. Bowmanville, CTMP is in Bowmanville, is still technically right at the edge of the GTA, and they'll
Mhm.
consider it as part of it. You can't have tons of people flocking to CTMP for camping and all sorts if there's still restrictions. They're not going to allow that. So this is a great compromise,
Mhm.
especially if the truck series does happen. And of course, unfortunately, we have to say if because we still don't know what the situation will be like in September. But it is huge that we could potentially see the truck series and, of course, CTMP double races happening. I'd have to check if that was the exact same weekend that the trucks were supposed to be here. If it was, that's a 3 race day, and that's amazing. To get to basically, you would have a Penny Series race in the morning, the truck race, and then a CTMP race for the Penny Series number 2 in the afternoon. Now that does again make a very long day, but you could do it 9 o'clock in the morning. You start that first Penny's race, give it an hour, hour and a half. Truck race starts at 12. Give that 2 hours. Penny's race at 4 o'clock. Give that another hour. Everything's done by 5:30, 6 o'clock, and you're good.
Yeah.
The one thing I think we got to invest in at CTMP, just because I would love to see a 24-hour race there, would be lights. That would be the next goal, I think, for CTMP. Obviously, that would be friggin' cool if they could do that. The one thing though, Graydon, that we would maybe not have is the Speed Fest that normally takes place Victoria Day weekend. That obviously looks like it's out.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing my Speed Fest shirt right now. I was so excited when I saw this that seeing CTMP back on a Pinty Series schedule. I figured I'd put the shirt on for the video.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, in Joe Jr.'s tweet, he's exactly right when he says these are monster shows.
Yeah,
When this is race fans, this is what we should be excited about. Uh, Too long different disciplines and series have competed against one another,
yeah,
and especially in this day and age in Canada, in this business climate, this pandemic climate, we need any and all disciplines to work together, pull in the same direction,
yeah,
and work together as a one team mentality, regardless of whether you're 2 wheels, 4 wheels, stock cars, sports cars, rally cars, open wheel cars, don't matter. Um, when everybody's starting to get on the same page and patronize these tracks and get these tracks uh, fees that pays their bread and butter, this is greasing the economical wheels of the
yeah.
racing world in Canada, and this is what we need. And if how we take this in is a streaming service, or God willing, we get to go to the
Oh my God.
tracks at some point in this season and get to sit in the stands and feel that feeling again, then that's this is absolutely the year that we need to pull in the same direction and rebuild and get racing back on its feet and show corporate Canada that racing in Ontario and Canada is worth investing in, and rise up, because 2021 is going to be huge.
And that's absolutely it. You and I, we've talked so many times about corporate Canada's and even corporate America's lack of investment in racing in Canada. And unfortunately, it is just a product of, business sense and the interest level kind of being down for a bit. Listen, we suffer when NASCAR down south suffers. NASCAR's changing its tune. It's trying to become more diversified. It's trying to be accommodating for all people, all races, all not all uh, orientation. That's what it's needed to do. It's separated itself from hatred, from bigotry, that maybe was unjustifiably tagged to it. Yes, there's a certain part of the fan base that was like that, but everybody kind of tied that together.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up myself, loving NASCAR, it was always thought to be that redneck, racist, Southern thing. Well, we have a series here. And one of the things that you had mentioned, we don't want to compete. Racing needs to all be together,
Mm-hmm.
especially in places where there's a lack of sponsors. In Canada and Ontario right now, the NASCAR Pinty, if you're asking why didn't we go out west, why didn't we go out east? Well, let's look. The hub of this series is Ontario and Quebec, and it was like that for many, many years.
It's a
Essentially,
fact.
since I've been watching, that's where the core has been. Now, I
Mhm.
am not suggesting to race fans that RS1 is there to replace Pinty's. No, no, no. But that is an option for you this year because they are going out to Wyatt Group Raceway. They are taking that Western Swing, Penticton Speedway, Area 27. They are going to be racing there in essentially old Pinty Series cars or very similar cars. Definitely take that opportunity there to check them out. Now, where there is a bit of a discord, Graydon, is Riverside. I expect that the Western Swing and Riverside, it's coming back. But like you said, let's take 2021 and recharge. Okay.
Yes.
Let's build up the series to where it needs to be. You have fan side right now. We are here to make sure that we can try and bring new sponsors to the series. That is our goal. Okay. We want that more than anything. I would love to go and see, let's just pull this out. I'd love to see Valvoline competing against a Castrol Edge car on the track. That it's what you want in racing is rivalries. He was, we got to have this back. We got to have Canadian Tire coming back. It was part. I'm trying to look. Oh, and we got to have them back. Okay. Integral parts to racing in Canada is sponsorship. Getting that corporate branding on the cars is crucial. We're going to try to do that. The people at Fuel Media Lab, they're going to try and do that. They do such a great job with the broadcasts. Sherry Putnam, the people at NASCAR for putting this together. Tony Spiteri and Pinty's for investing in this series. And one thing that they did last year, Graydon, that they're doing again this year is they did not give up on the series. They said, we're going racing.
Yeah, let's absolutely give credit where credit's due to Sherry and her team, and Tony and all his team at Pinty's for being so invested and truly behind the sport. This is great to see that everybody's come together, and the teams as well. I mean,
Yeah.
Everybody's got to be on the same page to make this fly. I mean, there's going to be probably some points of contention, and as you said, maybe even in the fan base where I do feel for. I know there's a contingent of Western Pinty's fans that are having to do without yet again. But as I say this, we have to be patient. The series, it's such an inherent expense to travel such across a sprawling geographical area to such sporadic race destinations as the schedule was. And now more than ever, we need to get expenses sort of streamlined, figure out what things cost to do business, and get the series back healthy again.
Yeah.
And then consider you can't just go back out there like nothing happened. It's a good way to make things crash and burn. As you said, there are alternatives, and this is where, as race fans, it's our duty to go out there and support these other series, these tracks. Out west, you aren't without racing, of course. I mean, arguably, you have some pretty awesome selections that we'd be jealous of here in Ontario. So get out there and support your tracks, no matter where you live in Canada. They all need it more than ever, especially after sitting essentially dormant, except for maybe a few races.
Yeah.
But we got to brush the dust off those grandstands and get out there. And I hope by this summer we're able to do that.
Yeah, it's. I see way more benefits to this schedule. Obviously, there's going to be people that are going to be against it, sharing the spotlight, I guess you could say. But what you're doing is you're bringing two audiences together.
One team.
We want the best for both series. And what I could also see from this is development. right now, Road to Indy is the most successful series. Actually, I know I'd say Formula One is pretty successful too, but they have a development ladder. Our development ladder really wasn't anywhere. We have the Ontario Sportsman Series. It's really an unknown. Hopefully, we'll be able to get more exposure to them this year. They run old Pinty's cars, old cast car race cars, but they just go at it and they go at the short tracks, and that's their basis. We've seen Connor James come from that series, being very successful. He won the championship, in fact. He came up and got a couple of podiums right away. He is a product of that, a ladder system. Now, obviously, funding was unfortunately the reason why he's not back this year, but he's going to APC. Where we can have this is that you can have now NASCAR does not need to get involved in this. That's not what we want. Okay. NASCAR has their top deal, but we could have Can-Am midgets, mini stocks, thunder cars, hot rods, modifieds, Ontario Sportsman, Pro Late Model, the APC Late Model Series, and then boom. I think I missed super stocks in there, but same thing. And then top of the line would be Pinties. Okay. Where we could have a very good ladder system here, local tracks. Obviously, one thing that I think has really made a difference is that you can compete for championships in all these tracks. I really hope though in 2021 we take advantage of this. Okay. The entry list for what looks to be a phenomenal hot rod season is long. Now, we're not saying we're going to get those guys and gals every single week, but it's positive. The 2021 list for the Sportsman Series, pretty good so far. Now, we don't know APC yet, but running alongside with them, it opens opportunities for sponsors to be like, you know what? I want to take my sponsorship from a Pro Late Model and go on a Pinty's car to be in the next race. Because at Flamborough, they're racing Saturday and then Sunday. Well, there you go, right?
Maximize your exposure for sure.
And not only that, Graydon, we could see names like DJ Kennington run both races.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, this is the one team mentality, absolutely.
And I would think Pinty's, would be absolutely game to be like, okay, you participate in both races. If you win both races, you win, I don't know, a huge amount of money. I could see that. I could see that being a very successful thing. But like I said, my most exciting thing is that we got a schedule. Okay. We got 12 races. We didn't get 6. The one thing I think that is going to be the hardest, however, Graydon, is, and it's just a product of this, 3 races in Quebec over 2 days. That looks like it's going to be a little tough.
Might be a little tough, but I think these guys can handle it. I mean, they're used to. I've heard DJ tell some pretty good stories about how far he's driven to win a trophy, and that's not guaranteed. So I think you have that carrot dangling in front of these guys. They'll drive to the ends of the earth to go get it. So I think it's we're in for a good season coming. No matter what you're a fan of, if you're a Pinty's fan or any of these other series, this is a good way for everyone to win. I'm assuming that these tracks are going to have some sort of a super ticket package for these combination events. You're not going to get better bang for your buck with all these different series in one place. So I assume from what you've said, like looking at the entry lists for some of these series, or at least the initial ones for who's planning on showing up for some or all of these race events, they're showing up in droves. So the fans are going to be hungry for it. So they're going to show up to these tracks if we're allowed to be in there.
And that's, I think, a lot of it too, is that there's going to be probably a lot of, there's going to be probably some nerves about traveling to the US to go see some racing, especially with the border situation and all that. But take advantage. Come see some Canadian racing, and if not,
absolutely
check it out on GeForce TV. I know the guys at G-Force TV. We've talked with them. They don't seem like this is a one-stop shop. They are willing to put in the effort to make the Canadian racing scene just as good and respected as the American side. Obviously, Speed 51. You see that they do that for the short track nationals at Jukasa. Well, maybe in the future we could have G-Force presenting the short track nationals because they cover all of that. Fan side, we plan if the races are going to happen. If we have to mask up to be there, we're masking up to be there.
I'll wear a freaking hazmat suit. I don't care.
Yeah. I don't care if I've got to wear. I've got to wear.
I'll wear a spacesuit.
A spacesuit, a space helmet. I don't care. I just want to see some racing. Miss the sound, miss the smell. I know everybody out there that's a fan side fan, you miss it too. But this is a great sign. It's a good way to look forward. Graydon, any last thoughts for the 2021 season? Because I've got a last note to talk about before we wrap this up.
Just that bringing everything that we've talked about together here, regardless of how we are able to take this racing product in this year, by all means, do it any which way you can. Show these tracks, show these teams, show these series how much you love racing, how much you've missed it. And there's no better way to show them than by helping get their cash flow going. Buy a ticket if that's what we're able to do. I know everybody's been working hard to try and get tracks recognized more as an outdoor place, and in a time where mental health is kind of a prevalent thing, we need some happiness. So I mean, the least the government could do come summer is turn us loose outside, and even if 30% is a 30% admission is a practical number, then give us that much and let us in there, because it's a win-win for everyone.
I mean, I couldn't have said that any better. We at Fanside, we're still relatively new. We just started in October, but the plan is we are back to racing next week at Daytona. So Fanside will be live streaming after all the races and or qualifying that's taking place next week. We're not sure yet on a guest. We do have somebody lined up. Hopefully that will happen. But we're hoping to maybe get some other guests for our live streams. We talk about basically what happened in each race. I mean, it's exciting. It's the very first week of racing for NASCAR in the season. And so one of the things that was announced today was Bombardier is going to be sponsoring Ben Rhodes, of all people, in the Camping World Truck Series. What about us in Canada here, Bombardier? I know some race teams that would definitely love your sponsorship. So why don't you think about jetting up here as well and sponsoring a couple of race teams potentially in the NASCAR Pinty Series, APC Late Model Series. We would love to have you. Got a lot of French drivers as well who, they would probably love to get your sponsorship, and we'd have that fast train moving. I can just think that there'd be a good market for it. So thank you all for tuning in. For Fanside, Cam K, Graydon, Bunn, make sure to follow us on social media and like, subscribe, and share this. Of course, we want to get as many fans as possible tuning out in droves this year to be able to talk more racing with you guys. That's what we're here for. And Canada racing is coming. We're just going to have to wait a little bit.